I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dream.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of the GAB Fest on your Thursday talk with Joan. And we have our hosts, our usual suspects. Anka and Jess in the building
Yes,
today.
charged. We are here.
The suspects have arrived.
And today we are so excited because we thought it is the finale. And there was one day Jess couldn't make it and we had someone stand in for her. And there was a day Anka couldn't make it and we had someone stand in for her. And we thought, why not just make the finale a big party?
Bring everybody.
Bring
Everybody and their mama. Bring everybody.
So in studio today, we've also got the beautiful Nazli, if you remember her.
Welcome.
And the famous Leandra Boysons.
Hello guys,
So mostly gals. So we are also excited. As you know, the GAB Fest started as a stand-in for your usual Thursday talk with Joan. Joan, are you ready with your usual talk with Joan? And we are so excited that with our finale today, we do have your bestie, Joan, in the building.
Joan!
Yep. How's it there? I'm back. Guys, I missed you guys, but I know you had an awesome time with these beauties, right? But don't despair. Next year, I have a lekker lineup for you.
Hey.
So don't you worry. We're in it just for you.
Yes, man.
So, all you ladies that have been like, where's Joan? She is back in the building.
Yes, yeah.
So today, we are going to go into our topics as usual. But to start off with, because we are all here together and many a times we weren't in the same room. Like Jess, it's the first time you meet Nazli, eh?
It is the first time, you know, and I think I'm trying to not be too short because, like, she's up here, so I'm like trying to push my chair up, but it's awesome to meet Nazli.
It's not gonna work though.
It's not gonna work, is it?
Nazli is tall. Just give up now.
And yeah, so we all meeting each other. Jess, you haven't seen my mom as well, eh?
I haven't, and I'm so happy to finally be here in your presence, not with the comments, but like live, face to face. It's so cool to be with you, Ma.
Thank you.
We are in it to win it today. So I wanted to start off before we go into the topics. I wanted to, because it is our finale, right?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you ladies, how has it been being on the show? What impact has the show had on you? What kind of impact do you think it had on those watching? Just what's your... I don't want to say 10 cents. You guys say I say 10 cents a lot.
What's your 2 rand?
What's your 2 rand?
Yeah,
We had a 10
guys,
cents for every time Van said 10 cents. We would be rich.
We would
I'm
be
just,
rich.
just for my 2 cents in there, inflation is real. So let's say 10 rand or something.
Ay.
Times are different now. Times are tough now.
Even our comments need raise.
Right.
So, anybody want to jump in?
Unks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start. I think, Joan, I guess why it's so great to be here with you is that it's almost like you planted a seed and then it just grew. And here's all these beautiful young ladies who are so smart and opinionated. And I know that emanates from where the vision was in the beginning. I really have to say, the space has been so special for me. Not just because I knew Vanj in high school, but just Vanj asking us to be guests here has just brought us all into a space of really dynamic women and a space where we don't always have to agree, but we are forced to listen to each other. Absolutely. And I think that's one lesson I take out of 2021 is just learning how to listen. Because I think listening, it makes us engage better. whether it be with the politics of the day, whether it be with just understanding what somebody else's path is, you know.
Yeah.
So I really love the space, and it's just been great hanging out with every single person here. I wish that GAB Fest could be a WhatsApp group. I'm just putting it out there. I wish that it could be a Facebook something, but just to continue it. And also, I really hope that it can be an IG Live or a something, you know, just to continue it, even if we're not in studio. You know, I'll invoice you guys for that idea, but it's really just been a blessed space. I've really loved it so much.
For me personally, the journey has been it's been a good journey for me. It's been exposure for me. Me sticking to Vanjie's side, she's met quite a few people along the way and all of that, and that has exposed me to her people and gotten me in touch with that, and also it broadened my sort of like my horizon in terms of how I think and all of that, because now you need to go sit, what are we speaking about, and you do a little bit of research and all of that, and you know, that sense of comfort and just not comfort but confidence in who you are when you do these things, because sometimes you're like, does my opinion count, am I saying the right thing, and all of that. But for Ma, the incredible opportunity that you've given us to just be us and speak about positive things, positive topics. If you turn on the radio now or you listen to a podcast, it's we know it's just COVID and it's just numbers and it's just, you know, people are going into debt. It's just so heavy, and you know, where we get to speak about stuff that really concern us on an everyday. So it's been a great journey for me.
Yes.
And Joan, I know you haven't watched every single episode, but those that you have watched, what's your 10 cents?
Yeah, I think I must just say it was very refreshing. It is a very good show that I think I actually said to Evangelique that I would love the girls to come on once a month, and if we can, then maybe twice a month. But because it's so fresh, you know, and that is most not now my line, you know, most what I'm saying, it's not my line. I'm there for empowerment. I'm there for whatever, for women. But because these are young ladies who's taking the legacy forward in the years to come, I would really want to open this space, and I would love to commend you guys and say, well done.
Yeah.
I watched when you were on, and I watched when you guys were on. So I just think it's something that is a little bit freshman. You know what I'm saying? It's things that is on the Twitter and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not a girl that always watch those things, you know what I'm saying? I go on the trend of where women find themselves in life and what is happening to us as human beings on a daily basis. So therefore, I think this is fresh. And therefore, I would really love you guys if you can make yourself available to carry on with this for the third week of every month, you know, so that we can just have that flow and carry on with it. So then you can make yourself available for that specific. Therefore, I'm saying the third week, so that you can actually make yourself available for that space.
Yes.
So we're not going anywhere after all.
We'll do Jess's idea in between and then have the main studio. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Leah and Nosley,
Yeah,
sorry.
so from my side, firstly, thank you to everybody that made the last session, or the only session that I was on, successful. I think for me, the biggest thing, first of all, coming here and being invited, I have to be honest, I was a little bit intimidated, because I watched you guys so many times on your channel, and I was like, wow, they make it seem so easy. They flow, you know, and coming into the space, first of all, it was so welcoming and so inviting. You know, just the setup and everything that you guys have here, really well done to you guys, because this is not something to be taken lightly. This is definitely not something that anybody can just wake up and we all dream of it, but we can't, you know, we can't actually go out there and just make this happen. So first of all, well done to all of you guys for this.
Thank you.
Thank you for just I don't know, allowing the space, you know. There are so many people, and I speak about it all the time on my own platforms, but there's so many women out there that speak about, you know, the movement
Yeah.
and moving women forward and having conversations. And but when you look at it, they're not actually using their influence for this type of thing. They're not really using the influence to make a difference and to hold the space for other women to actually come and share. So really well done to you guys. I left here feeling so pumped, so amped last time.
Yeah.
I went into a whole strategy session, and one thing I realized is that, you know, when you're alone, you can dream and have all these amazing ideas. But when you feel like you are part of a community,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and when you feel like
Yes,
there's other
that's
women
true.
that are with you on that journey, I promise you, it gives you the confidence, you know, that you would never get anywhere else. So thank you so much for being part of my journey and for allowing me into your space. I left here going into like a full-on strategy mode. 2022 is going to be my year.
Yes, girl.
2020 you.
You know?
Yes.
I like that.
That feels nice, yeah.
Jesse's
don't
going to
send
be
the invoice.
invoicing a lot after this show.
No, but thank you so much to everybody. I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job here. You are really, it is absolutely inspiring. And the fact that I could be part of it is like phenomenal. Definitely a highlight of 2021. Do you have
Yeah.
something for 2021 as well?
No,
Okay,
just for
think about
2020.
it.
Been there, done that.
2021.
Yes,
You
wow,
won.
I
You
like
won.
it.
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
guys are the role here. Huh? Love it. Awesome.
Yeah, man. So for me, I believe in purpose, and I believe that once you know your purpose, you know it reflects, and I see it in what you have created here. It started with Joan. I mean, we know that Joan is a pioneer in women empowerment. She started the women's ministry of Crystal Church many years ago. She started Talk with Joan as a talk show many years ago. And that comes from purpose and understanding your purpose. And for me, I respect older women and learning from older women, because I believe that we can help each other. Then I look at Evangelique, our host of the GAB Fest, and similarly, she's always spoken about empowering women, wanting to give a voice to women, talking about issues that many women don't want to talk about, for the fear of seeming weak. For instance, the mother issue is a big thing for her, but she used this platform to do truth to what she believes in. And I think with each and every lady here, we all come with our own how can I say, we all come with our own vision and mission for our lives. But the fact that we can all support each other in that is what was beautiful for me. There was no overpowering of another person and wanting to shove your opinions down my throat. And I think with women, we do that quite often. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, because we're obviously fighting for a space in society. We're fighting for space in the private
Workplace,
sector.
yeah.
We're fighting for spaces
Everywhere.
in our homes. We're fighting for space. But what I love about coming here is that we get to support each other without fighting. You know what I'm saying? It's literally like a place where we can all agree to disagree, and it's in such a respectful manner. And I think that this is really going to hone a respect for women across the. I just see big things with the GAB Fest. So the announcement that Joan made, I'm like,
Excited.
whoop, whoop, I'm here for it.
You available.
Whether it be on your whether you guys are going Instagram live or whether you guys, I am here rooting for you. Even if I'm not on the panel, I love what I've been seeing, and I'm telling you, like, I sit in the producers' room there, and me and Jess on the show, not Jessica,
Jesse.
Jesse Hendricks, the guy. We sit there and we also just giving our opinions, and I
Yeah.
guess that is what the show, the
It's
GAB
about,
Fest,
yeah.
that is what it does. It gets you speaking, you know. You also holding your 2 cents there. I can just imagine a lady sitting in her office and she's got the headsets in and she's like, yeah, it's true. And her colleague is like, excuse me, girl, sorry, honey, I'm GAB festing right now, okay? So, well done to you. And I'm looking forward to the rest.
Yeah.
Yes. So from my side, I also just want to say thank you to everybody. thank you, Ma, so much for the opportunity that was given to me and for allowing me to run with this. Because usually when I do stand in, I get my own guest and we also speak about crying stuff.
That's true.
So
very true.
I thought about it and I was like, it is difficult to get guests nowadays
it
because
is.
everybody's back at work.
Yeah.
So many a times when I had my guest and it was our crying sessions, it was because of COVID, people were working from home and it was easy for them to just come on in.
Yeah.
And like Lee said, this has always been one of my dreams. Like, maybe 5 years ago, I had something called the Succulent Garden. And it was exactly this. It was a talk show where we can just speak. And when I had the opportunity now and I said, Ma, I am struggling to find guests. Every guest keeps cancelling because now they're back at work. What now? And I thought, why not? So many times as women and even people in general, but as women, you have this dream, but you never want to share it.
Yeah.
It's my dream.
Yeah.
And someone else is doing it as well. But because you want to have your own, you start thinking, oh, I'll try it on my own. But you get to a point when you realize if you work together, you make a bigger difference. And so many times, even with NPOs, I full on believe if so many NPOs came together and made actual differences in people's lives, but this one wants to be the owner of this foundation, this one wants to be, and they're just making 10 rands. But if we have to stand together, those 10 rands will be millions and you'll actually make difference that you see. And that's was my vision with the GAB Fest. So my idea was there with the Succulent Garden, but then my thing was, and I spoke to Anka, and Anka was like, yeah, why not? Just go with it.
Yeah.
And
do it.
Yeah, just do it. And that's I always say with the Avengers. The Avengers.
Go for it.
Because we kind of speak to each other a lot about everything, and then, it's the go, no, stay, slow down here, those kind of things. And also when I thought about somebody, obviously Anka was going to be there, but when I thought about somebody, I was like, who can I ask also to stand in with me? I wanted someone that is not over emotional, somebody that also knows research in terms of they're not just going to come speak off I know kind of a thing. And then I actually remembered Jess from school, and I was telling Uncle, I have this friend from school but we haven't spoken, and I told Uncle the whole idea, and Uncle's like, there's nothing wrong just to send a message.
Yeah.
If she says no, it's no.
no.
Nobody's gonna know she turned you down. Because it's not on social media and everybody can read the comments saying, no, I don't want to. So I sent Jess a message and we jumped right into it. Jess actually phoned me back via phone call.
Listen, I was here for it.
She was here from day one. And I also just want to say thank you so much. Jess drives all the way from Midrand every time.
Wow.
To be in our presence.
Yeah.
And
Dedication.
we are so and she was like,
We're honored.
just tell me. And come I tell you guys, Jess, she does actual presenting and voiceovers, and what I really appreciate is that when I called you and I said this is the days, she said, okay, I'm in. And then she phoned back and said, listen here, Disney just called now, I have to do A, B, and C. But I told them if it's not after 10:30, I can't do it. And I appreciate that so much because you were getting paid for that. But the fact that you were willing to put all your other stuff and ask, can we make it after 10:30? I have a prior arrangement. I am so grateful for that, because I don't think that the show would have been as successful had it been someone else in your place. So I'm just very thankful for that as well.
Making me teary out.
Purpose trumps the paycheck.
Yeah.
That's
It
all
really
I'm
does.
saying.
And like I was saying, Vanj, I think just there's so much, how do I say it? The world just feels hypersensitive right now. Every day, a topic could come out, a thing happens, and everyone is just like speaking. But I don't feel like there's a lot of listening.
Yeah.
Everyone
Yep.
wants to be right instead
Yeah.
of being able to like engage on the topic. So being in this space allows us to learn how to do that and to show others that it is possible. So that's why I can do anything to be here. So thank you, Vanj.
Thank you so much for that.
awesome.
And then Nasli, that always just jumps in. Last week when I phoned Nasli, she's like, oh my word, I already have a client. And I'm so bad with WhatsApp that
And
we
my
miss
phone is
each other
always off.
all the time. Her phone is always off. And then when she messages back, Isaiah has my phone and I see it tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. But thank you so much for availing yourself.
Absolutely.
And to you, Lee. At the end of the show, I will thank you guys a bit more. But let's jump
Yay!
to the GAB Fest, okay? So, Ma,
Ready.
I know you said you don't know everything that's happening on Twitter and everything, but what we do here on the show is we use things that is trending right now at the moment on social media, but we bring it to everyday life. So when we speak about a celebrity, I want you to give your 10 cents based on every single person sitting here and not just the celebrity topic at hand. Okay, so jumping into the first topic, we were speaking about influence and being woman and everything. And guys, the Kardashians, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, has won yet another award for People's Choice on Best Reality TV Show. 20 seasons,
Wow.
14 years.
Wow.
What is your opinion on the whole series of Keeping Up with the Kardashians and the influence it has, right? Whether your idea is it negative, is it positive? What can we learn from so much success? For me personally, okay, I'll start.
Yeah,
Go for
Why
it.
not?
For me
Take it.
personally, I don't agree with their lifestyle, okay? Putting it out there, they are beautiful women, but the way they do things, I am not there for it. And the first season, I was kind of watching it, second season, but then after that, I only watched it when I visit somebody's house and it happens to be on TV, and then that was it. But from what I saw, the kind of influence they had for me is negative influence on your everyday lifestyle. But where they give positive influence for me is their business side of things, how they take opportunity, even negative opportunities, and turn them into so much positive. So if I had to split it, I'd say their lifestyle, I don't agree with anything they do in their lifestyle. But when it comes to the business part of things, I do think they have a big influence on how we could actually, as women, stand together. Because I always tell Anka, if these sisters can do this, yes, they fight all the time. But every time one has a dream, everybody
try to
focuses
support
on that
you.
one dream,
Yep.
and then the next one will jump on your dream as soon as yours is finished, kind of thing. Like, I was always against, Kylie, just add a makeup brand, but now Kim is jumping on it. That is Kim. But at the same time, you don't realize at the end that Kim's makeup is actually made by Kylie. So
Yes.
those kind of
They support
things,
each other,
it's
yeah.
still
Yeah.
a sense of support.
Yeah.
What's your take on that, using them as an example?
So I actually want to come in there because for me, I get that their lifestyle is, I suppose, questionable to many. But I just look at my life and my family, and I mean, we're not gonna go. I have no drum roll moments today. I'm not dropping any bombs today.
No breaking news.
No. But I just look at my family, and if we had a reality show, look, I'm obviously not saying that we Kardashians, not in the least, but there is
You
a
could
lot
be.
of drama.
Yeah.
There is a lot of drama.
is.
There is a lot of bold personalities in my family. So if we had a camera following us around, I mean, I don't know if anybody would watch, but the point is, the cameraman would catch a lot.
lot of things,
Yeah.
yeah.
He would catch, they would catch a lot. So I just feel like they've maximized on what is happening in a lot of families. I mean, in a lot of families, there is a lot of politics, there's a lot of drama, there's good things, there's bad things. It really is normal. What's happening in their family, I don't think it's anything majorly exceptional. It's their lifestyle added to it, the millions added to it that
And
elevates
also
it.
they have script. They
Exactly.
need to
No,
fight every
absolutely.
I was about
episode.
to say
Absolutely.
that it's not really reality.
Yeah.
No. And like I'm saying, with added, the budget and the lifestyle, it makes it seem like completely out there. But if you just look at the core of what's happening, it happens in all our families, So, and I say it all the time. But one thing you are spot on is about the business ethic. Whether they are, I don't know, some people say, that it's just a craze or whatever it be. But it's like Malema. I had a conversation with somebody one time and they were like, that guy is just like, and I'm like, deaf people are not multi-millionaires. Something that he's doing is working for him. And for the Kardashians, something they are doing is working for them. They didn't just fall into it.
Yes.
And if you look at their, if you just look at the work ethic, yes, they have dreams, but they make it work for them. And all of us want to have a jeans company and makeup company and gym company or whatever else they've got, I'm sure they've got their car wash or whatever, but added to the fact that they've got the means, they've got the money, they've got the backing, the capital, but I don't really think that anything that they're doing is exceptional. I think it's because of the money that backs them, they've got the ability to do a lot more, but it's nothing extraordinary, it's nothing that none of us are thinking about, it's just we don't have that financial backing. But when it comes to influence, they absolutely have huge influence, and I'm still a little bit I'm not sure if I'm left or right on the whole Kim Kardashian that's getting people out of prison all the time, because I just feel it's very sensitive. It's because if there's apparently thousands of people that are in prison, and they shouldn't be in America at least. And if you're helping one person, there's just this expectation of everybody else. And I feel like at some point she's gonna get her fingers burnt by somebody that's gonna give wrong facts or wrong something. And I think it's just too controversial to get into something like that, especially when you're not qualified. And I know she was trying to do what they call the baby bar or whatever it be. But the fact of the matter is she's not qualified, and she's got a lot of people that are obviously advising her, but one person that advises wrong, and it's her face, in front of it all. But for now, it's working for them, and big ups to them. And when you spoke about 20 seasons, I thought GAB Fest. So,
Yes,
absolutely.
That's right.
Come on now.
I just want to come in here. I'm not, I don't watch the Kardashians, but I watch people.
Who watch the Kardashians.
So that is to me the reality show, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of girls that never live themselves, but live the Kardashians. And to me, that is a no-no. It's a no-no. There's certain things you can take the good from people, and there's certain things, my father used to say, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones. So that is my thing. Eat the meat, but spit out the bones. You know what I'm saying? The thing that I really honestly adore and must say can be done in our society today is what we are doing now. Collaborating, getting together as women, putting our monies where our mouths are. If we want to see a move in the next generation, your children, you know what I'm saying? This is the thing that we have to do. Not the Jella thing, that, she's keeping herself. That is always a thing that is so negative amongst us as people, and especially, it's sad to say, black people, right across. We don't support one another, right? And I want you to take the good out of the Kardashians. As Evangelic rightfully said, if the one have a makeup brand and the other one goes on to that, it's supporting that sisterhood thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think we need that more than ever.
Yeah.
We need that sisterhood more than ever. If my sister goes through stuff, I'm there to support her. I'm not there to to
Discourage
break
her,
her down
break her
because her arm is already broken. Come on, I don't have to go and just jump on that same arm again. No, I have to take the bandage and I have to put it in a certain way, you know, the arm in a certain way, and I have to try and help her heal the arm. Yes. You know, and that is my cry, honestly. That is really what I am for. Sisterhood. Be there for one another. Support one another. If I keep on forgetting your name.
Nazli.
If Nazli is in a positive influence and she has a talk show, we all have to say, yay, Nazli is on that show. Let's jump on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is the kind of thing that I would love to see amongst us. You know,
Absolutely.
if Jess is on something, we have to say, guys, WhatsApp one another.
Yeah.
Did you see Jesse's on this show? Jesse's gonna be. We all jump on it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Or
saying?
show up for her.
And show up. That is the
absolutely.
actual thing that I feel we can learn from the Kardashians.
Absolutely.
For me personally, and tying into what Ma is saying, is that the problem that I have is these people are influencers and they're obviously everywhere, but people aimlessly follow these people. And they say it's a reality show, but it's not a reality show. So for me, it's the reality behind that show, right? So there's a lot of people that just follow it, especially young girls and women. They follow it aimlessly and they want to live these influencer lifestyles. They want to just take pictures all the time, or they want to have the best, but they don't realize what's really going on, because the reality is, yes, they have work ethic. It takes a lot to get up and create that content, because yes, someone is taking that video, but you need to be prepared and you need to be ready. You need to know your script. You need to, always be looking good. So they work hard. They've really got work ethic. And a lot of our younger girls or our younger women don't know this. And that expectation is placed on maybe somebody else. So they just want to live this lifestyle and not realize, but there's consequences behind it. Instead of just being yourself, go out there, find who you are, and know what your purpose is. Because then you know where you're going in life,
I think, taking what everyone has said, I'll try to come from a completely different angle. I didn't start I was like you, I didn't watch the show, but then sometimes when you end up at a friend's house and then it's playing and then you're like, okay. So I started tuning in maybe somewhere season 10, 11, somewhere there, or maybe just before. And I found it, I'm not going to lie, I found it quite intriguing to be almost like a fly on the wall of a semi-glamorous and then eventually hyper-glamorous life. And it's funny, I think it was earlier this year, I watched the first season again. Well, not again. I
Played
watched
on Sunday.
I decided, let me go check out what the first season was like. And I have to say, fast forwarding again, the evolution of these human beings from season 1 up to season 20. I think for me, I'm a social observer and I love to study people. I mean, season 1, Chloe was obnoxious. She didn't care about anything. She just says the first thing that comes to her mouth. Courtney as well. You just see them all doing these really obnoxious things. And what you find is that as the seasons go on, all of them are changing. As they're becoming moms, as they are exploring their different business ventures, there's definitely a certain, I'm not gonna, because obviously there are certain questionable things that they've, but I've just seen a lot of growth. For me, one person who I found grew a lot, if you watch Chloe in season 1 and you watch her in season 20, it's like somebody who's grown. And I'll also say this, the person who I often admire to a certain extent has to be Chris, because no matter what scandals,
she's the best.
No matter what scandals her children might have found themselves in, Chris has always found a way to give them a place to rest and a place to find themselves and a place to say, no matter what mistakes you made or what you did, this will always be home.
Yeah.
I come from a small family, so it's just my dad, my mom, me, right? I didn't get the opportunity to have siblings. So when I see big families and how the acceptance in a big family, that's what I admired. It was cool to see two sisters can fight and scratch each other and whatever, and then a couple of weeks down the line, you can't act that way with your sister because that's your family. So I've learned some of those dynamics and watched these individuals grow. You even see the stuff that happens in the relationships that they go into, and usually as a person, like if something happens to you on social media and it doesn't go off well, you might want the ground to swallow you. But these people have found a way to show us that no matter what you do or no matter what happens, you've just got to keep coming out with your head held high all the time. And I've also found another thing that Chris did was she accepted all of her children's friends. She accepts all of their partners in this family dynamic. It may not be perfect, but to me, beyond the glamour and all of those things, I found the family dynamic quite interesting to watch. So not perfect, but definitely something to learn from. And I guess that's the success in the show. It's just that there is no perfect family, and family should always be a place where you can come back to no matter what you've done or what scandal has happened. That's what I take from the show.
Yeah, it's, as I always say, you set the atmosphere. And being Chris, you know, as a mum, from a mother's perspective, you always have to have that atmosphere set for your children. And that is things that we can learn, irrespective, because everybody's different. Every child is different.
Absolutely.
There's one child that you can reprimand and the other you can't. You know, you have to find a way how to navigate to the mindset of that child. You see what I'm saying? So I think I really must agree with you when it comes to that. That is a phenomenal lady, you know, who sets the atmosphere. And that is what I love.
And she's also very imperfect also.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
also all over the
Yana.
but she loves her
But
kids.
then her mom does that for her.
Yeah.
That's so
But
true.
at the end of the
yeah.
day, who is perfect? I'm just,
Exactly.
you know,
No one is perfect.
we just navigate this life and we try to raise our kids, or we try to, you know, try and be what's deemed to be good. But no one is perfect. We all have flaws. So, you know, you kind of have to give it to our, let's concentrate on the good. And then, you know.
The other thing also, based on you speaking about Chris, it's so interesting that in normal life, as a child, if your mom tells you something, you go the other way.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to take any advice from my
Yeah.
mother.
Wanna
But
learn
if
it my
you
way.
see Chris is the manager of every single one of her kids and the success she's given them, because at the end of the day, she's the one that turns every
Absolutely.
scandal
Yeah.
into something else.
Yes,
She's the
yes.
one that gets them all the business deals. She's the one that's doing all these things. But obviously, thanks to Robert, they have the money to do all these things. But just in terms of Kim at that young age, I mean, she's been married how many times, kind of a thing. But they didn't take it away from her the first time with RJ. So after that happened and she saw how can we use this as an opportunity, I found it so funny. I also watched the interview of the closing when they were like, who hated the show the most, and they were like, Courtney didn't appreciate them showing their lifestyles. They asked Kylie, why was Travis never in the show? They're like, she kept certain things personal because her personality is not all there for see what's in my household, because she saw what it did to her sisters and those kind of things. And then one thing I thought was they were quite clever was with the Robert whole thing. I remember at that time Kim was best friends with Paris Hilton, so the mom strategically placed them in court where they could be seen with the whole lawsuit with what's his name, OJ Simpson, and those kind of things. And at that time already, if you see, I was even telling Lee the other day, I did not know Bruno Mars started his first concert at like 5 years old. He had his first show. But that's something we never look at. We look at the Kim Kardashians now, 20 seasons later, and try to be that in a day.
Yeah.
And then you look back at, they started showing themselves with Paris Hilton as the best friend that everybody said, please move, we want a picture of Paris. And let's be honest, if you walk in a room now, you won't even recognize Paris.
No.
You'll be like, can I have a picture with Kim? And that's also one thing that you can take from a family like that or any other famous person. They didn't wake up one day and boff, they were famous. It took years and years and years, and that's something we can learn as well, no matter what it
Absolutely.
is.
And I also think, to come in there, it is the experience that talks. You know, you find in the black culture especially, which I really adore, is that you give way to an elderly. You let the elderly first have. That is how we grew up in today's society. That is really out of the door. You know what I'm saying? But I think if we can get back to that culture where, you know, there's certain things you take, all adults or all elderly people maybe didn't walk the straight path, you know what I'm saying? But there are things, good morals that you can take from them, you know. So experience counts. And with the mother, she's experienced. And she had the capital. She worked. You get what I'm saying? But she's pushing her kids. And sometimes, as any parent, you want the best for your children. Any parent. You even if that parent is you know, a drunkard, a alcoholic, whatever. That parent wants the best for her child or for his child. You know what I'm saying? And it is important then for us, because a lot of our children don't want to listen, especially if the parent maybe failed them in one way or the other. Then they don't want to take experience or advice from that parent. I would really say, think and think again, because that person went that road, journeyed that road that you are traveling at the moment. So it is important. There's certain things that you can take from elderly people, especially your parents.
I know that we probably really exhausted the time on this topic, but I just want to quickly come in there and speak about, and I know we probably went completely off topic as well, because not only about the Kardashians, but Joan, you're speaking about, and I really don't want to be controversial.
No, it's fine.
That's the point of the show.
That's the point, that's the point.
But you're speaking about this, I don't know, this idea that, because back in the day, in my family, we laugh about this all the time, because my cousins that are older than me, we speak about how we used to sit in the passage in my grandmother's house, and each child would get one samosa. And you got your samosa,
done.
right?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
Yeah.
You got your one samosa, your one drumstick, or whatever it be. And I look at my kids now, and when we go out to eat, I mean, my 4-year-old, every time we go out for supper, she wants sushi. And it's not
and it's expensive.
but it's not a bougie thing. It's that she likes the flavor of sushi.
Yeah.
I mean, some people like the flavor of chicken licken.
Yes,
You just like the flavor, right? But one thing I don't know, maybe one day in the future we can speak about it in depth, is about that whole idea that, you know, your parents or your grandparents have already gone down that lane or whatever, so you need to learn from it. And I'm on the other side of that.
Right.
And I am like, you know what? I really and truly feel, and I know this is going to be controversial to everybody watching, I really and truly feel I don't want my children to learn from grandparents or great-grandparents, because the difference between then and now, there was too many things being shoved under carpets back then.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, we are teaching our
Yes.
children to be brave. We are teaching our children to
Open.
speak up. My child yesterday, I've got 2 daughters, and Iman is, I mean, she's quite tall, she's 9, and Amara just turned 5 2 weeks ago, so she's obviously shorter. So I don't know what happened, but one was walking past the other, and she just happened to tap her sister. You know, the section of her body. And this 5-year-old came screaming to me and saying, Iman touched my personal part. Like, and I obviously freaked, and I was like, what? And then Iman comes and says, I was walking past her and my hand like tapped her, like nothing
Yeah,
major.
yeah.
But the fact is my
She
child
spoke.
knew
Awesome, wonderful,
that
yeah.
it's okay for her to come and scream and make a noise. Now, again, I mean, really probably off topic, and we should probably speak about
Yeah.
it in the new year. One of those
It's not off
Thursdays,
topic,
guys.
it's-
Yeah, one of those Thursdays or one of those the third weeks. But I really think that we need to change that narrative that our forefathers or our foremothers, our mothers and grandmothers walked a certain path, so you need to learn from it. I believe we can reflect on it. Absolutely, we can look
Yes.
at it and say, "Oh, okay.
Hence
I wonder how I would work."
Right,
you know?
hence I
Yeah.
said, you can take
Yeah.
certain things, especially when it comes to moral issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can learn. You can learn
Yeah,
from it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Whether it is,
Not
I don't want to
everything.
be like that.
Yes.
Yes.
Meat and
Absolutely.
bones.
Yeah,
Meat and bones.
meat and
yeah.
bones.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
that's, you rightfully said, what happened. Remember now, you have 2 children. Our parents had 8.
Multiple, yeah.
We a family of 8. 4, equal
Dynamics are
rights.
different.
Dynamics changed.
Exactly.
So you have the monies to raise that children too. Right? They didn't. If you take the
Yeah.
opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are certain things I took certain things from my parents and my grandparents. That's carrying me up till today.
Yeah.
To be
That's
quite
awesome.
honest.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's interesting that you note that point because I often find that with our generation, like you're saying, there is an irritation sometimes with elders when maybe for example in my mother's side of the family, I think I was only 15 when I learned that my mother's that my grandmother's husband's father was white.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kept saying to them, but why don't we talk about it? Why don't
Yeah.
we talk about the fact that my grandfather was white? Like, why don't we? And I think it came across as me being irritated with the family, but it was more, but as a family, why don't we talk about those things? What he did to my grandfather, that the reason why they don't talk about it is because there was something that happened where he had abandoned my grandfather.
Yeah.
So the whole family is just like, yo, we on Derry's
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
we want nothing
Yeah.
to do with it. But
Yeah.
we have family probably in Sweden somewhere.
Absolutely,
So
girl.
these are things that I think our generation sometimes wants to know more
Yeah.
from the elder side, or wants to understand why did they make those decisions when we are sitting here trying to live the decisions that they made that might not have worked out so well for us.
Absolutely.
So I think it's always that tension, and I think it goes back to what you were saying. There's meat and there's bones. We must just choose what we
And that is
can.
what life is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what my parents or the elders in my family used to say is that die ou mense se sonde was skoon sonde, meaning to say that whatever the big people did, like it was okay and no one spoke about it. And
Yeah.
that dynamic is what I think you're touching on, that they made
Absolutely.
mistakes, but it was shoved under the rug.
Absolutely.
But before-
and it gave such. I'm so sorry, but it gives such an unrealistic expectation
Expectation,
of
yeah.
this picture. And I mean, Joan, we're gonna have a whole conversation about this. But,
Joan is
you
sipping
know?
a cup there.
But just for me, in closing, we just need to be more open around the fact that there are definitely times where you can learn from your mothers and your grandmothers and everybody else, but it's also okay if you choose not to.
Yeah, I also just want to say,
Absolutely.
also based on the fact that if people are sitting here, maybe have good mothers and grandmothers, and it's not like that for everybody.
Yeah, no,
and
it's
for
not.
some people, so it's easy to say, yeah, but take meat and spit out the bones. But there is genuinely some people that they live in situations where they don't want to be anything like their mother
Yeah, it's
or
true.
and embracing each one as they are. And that was with regards to the Kardashian family and then also our take. And Lady S says, I think the lack is also in how you celebrate yourself and clapping for yourself, because it's not easy to give something that you don't have. So ladies, get a celebration heart and spirit. Ladies, you need to know how to work on their own energy first, own happiness, and when they in the room with other sisters, you bring your own vibe in the room and flow together.
Absolutely. And she does it very well.
Okay.
Therefore, comment on it.
So, Lee, with this next thing, you can jump in first. Okay.
I feel like it's very important because I hear a lot of praise for the Kardashians, and I don't take that away from them. But I think that fame blindsides us to a lot of moral issues, and
Yes.
I think that we need to talk about it because a lot of the times, when the Kardashians started out, they started out on a scandal. It was the sex tape.
Yes.
Kim
Yes.
was underage. We don't talk about that.
And she was
anymore
married.
because she's famous now. I think that fame blindsides us, and it affects the next generation.
It does.
And we're sitting with a situation, and for me, the problem is that our kids are gonna grow up in an immoral society
think it's okay.
because we make that okay. You must remember that keeping up with the Kardashians has come to an end, but they have signed a new multi-year contract with Hulu and Disney. So already they're infiltrating your kids. With the morals that they currently have, I look at the behavior of their kids, and you can say that it's what do they say? These kids are very confident, right? But there's a lot of things that are not confident. It's rude. And if we continue to support these kinds of things and we don't speak against it, and we only highlight the good things about not just the Kardashians, I'm talking about
In
celebrity
general.
culture
Yeah.
in general. If we make it okay, we're sitting with a situation where there's no longer going to be right and wrong. There's just going to be confidence. There's just
Yeah.
going to be self-love.
You will say,
there's just
children,
going to be
speak
all
your
those
mind.
things.
And that's
And
why
that
I
is
said
what
I
we find
do
today.
not agree with the
So
lifestyle.
we just need to see what, because we need to look out for the Kardashians. If they're signing a contract with Hulu in partnership with Disney, Disney's already messed up, as we can see.
Yeah. So that's also why I said I take that whole family aspect, but anything they do, it's not my beliefs.
Yes.
So that is why I don't watch it. And keep in mind, the more you watch something, and if it was not your beliefs in the beginning,
Yeah,
the more you
influence.
open up
Influence.
yourself to it, and then you agree with it, and then it becomes your personal lifestyle as well.
Yeah.
Which makes it perfect to jump into the next session topic, which is going to be quite quick because there is literally no minutes left. So
I think it's a finale. We need more time. It's the last show for the year.
a few episodes ago, I was so excited about the internals, right? I was so excited. There's a deaf superhero. There is this and that and that. And, you know, like with any other movie, me and Ashley usually watch it first and then the kids get to watch it. And because it's a Marvel, obviously Isaiah wants to watch it. And because it's a deaf superhero, I was excited for Scarlett to see there's somebody like her in a superhero.
Yeah.
Went to go watch it and I am quite disappointed. There is a deaf superhero, perfect. But we were also, one of the episodes ago, we were speaking about our feelings about the gay Superman, right? And going into what we reflect on our kids and what then becomes normal. So for me, I am somebody, I love everybody, but there is morals and I have standards that I still agree with. And for me, the same way people say, don't push your religion down me, I feel don't push the alphabet down my throat, right? But now, every single thing we're watching has two dads in it. It has your cartoons on Disney Channel, there's two dads. Why do you have two dads? And it gets explained why we have two dads and all those kind of things. But this is what put me off about Marvel. It was going so well. The movie was going brilliantly. There's a deaf superhero. I loved the fact that the whole superheroes, I think they're like 8, and there was a Chinese superhero, there was a Korean superhero, there was a Spanish superhero, there was only one white superhero, and she was not the main character, which was Angelina Jolie, but Salma Hayek was the main one. But what I'm trying to say is they did right in so many ways. So they had a superhero with a disability, they had this whole cast that finally people of color, because we only know Black Panther as the superhero that is of color. And then the movie goes on, and obviously there is a gay scene in the movie. So I understand Marvel is also related. It's more for adults than what it is for kids, but we know it's superheroes. They are the main. When you go into the shop, it's the kids buying the figurines. You get a minimum amount of adult people that's going to go buy that figurines because their whole house is, comic, whatnot. But we do know the main target market is kids, right? I wanted to know from you guys, we're saying let's be careful what we open ourselves up to and what is okay from the celebrities and everything. For me, I was very disappointed. It's not a movie I am now going to make Scarlett watch. The scene is very small, but they touch on the whole time that it's dads, kind of a thing. What's your opinion on that? Whether you are for it or whether you're against it, but I do believe as a child, allow a child to grow up, because there is people that say you grow up like that, and the same way you as an adult grows up and finds yourself, allow my kids to grow up and find themselves without you forcing
It down their throat.
down their throats what they meant to believe and who they meant to be.
So I want to ask you, so is what bothers you the gay scene more than anything else?
What bothers me is that because the target market is also kids,
Yeah.
right? It's not necessarily a gay scene. They
Okay.
just kiss for
Okay.
a bit.
Okay.
But the fact that I understand there is kids
You're
that
driving
have
the
two
narrative.
dads
Yeah.
as fathers. I do understand that aspect. But I'm not saying that it bothers me. I'm just saying that for me, I still have morals, certain morals that I stick to. A vision for how I want my kids to grow up. You don't have to speak specifically about the movie or specifically about that, but just in general, what do you see your kids growing up as, and what is society pushing down? It doesn't even have to be same-sex marriage or something like that. Just something in general. Lee mentioned the rudeness that comes across, and we say it's confidence. What is it that you are trying to protect your child from, but society is pushing it down your face in everything that you do?
Yeah, so why I'm asking you that is two things come to mind. One, a few months ago, my daughter came home, and she told me, it just by the way, but obviously it's something that had relevance to her, and this is why she was saying it to me. She's told me that her friend at school, her dad has half an arm. And for me, I was like, okay, if the mom had short hair, would you also come and tell me that? Or if the mom had extremely long hair, would you, why did that have relevance to my child? And I thought about it, and I said to her, and I spoke to her, and I said to her, but like, it's okay, it's normal. You can have half a leg. There's people that have one ear. I literally just tried to expand on it to make her understand that, I mean, it's okay, because the fact that she came and she told me that, of all things, she didn't come and say he has brown eyes or, whatever it be. She specifically came, it means it had some relevance to her, and in some way it was unusual. And this is why she felt, she's going to mention it, she's going to bring it up. So last night, there's I don't know what you want to call it, real life series of, is it Titans? The kids show that the kids watch, Teen Titans or something it's called, no? So there's like a real life version of it now where the Teen Titans are all grown up now, but it's like, it's not animated, it's like real life or whatever it be. Well, you know what I mean. Real life, right?
We get you.
Not animated. And my husband paused, and I'm going to put him on blast here. And he paused and he said to me, see the girl there with the red hair? And he picked up his phone and he Googled, and he's like, this is who she's supposed to be. So he's showing me the cartoon character. In the cartoon character, it's a white girl with red hair. But in this real life show, it is a black girl with a red kind of like weave, but it's like very curly and very big. But in the cartoon character, it's like the sleek red hair. you know, like quite opposite.
Yeah.
And I said to him, okay, so? And he said, but like, isn't it strange that this is who they've made the character out to be, and now they're trying to change the dynamic? Probably because they're trying to push the agenda of diversity and all of these things to show, you know, that anybody can be anything type
Yeah.
of thing. But again, what's stuck out for me is the fact that stuck out for him.
Yeah.
The same like with my daughter with the arm, that why did it have relevance? It shouldn't matter. You can be pink, blue, purple, green, yellow, whatever. It shouldn't have relevance, right? Not in 2021. Not where we are teaching our children to be brave and to be bold and to be accepting of other people and to be respectful and confident and all these beautiful things. So why I asked you now if that's the scene specifically, and I get your question and the angle you're coming from, but I really think that we need to get to a point where we realize it's okay to be different.
Wait, can I
You're
jump
gonna
in there?
see-
I understand.
Yeah.
I see where you're going
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my difference with society,
Yeah.
right? Not where I come from. With looks,
Yeah.
you're born like that, right? With a short arm, it could have been amputated
Yeah,
due
yeah.
to an illness. It could have been an accident, you didn't ask for it, right? And many a times I've heard people always say, but with curly hair, we're making it normal but every child in South Africa, for example, the percentage that does have curly hair, I understand that aspect. But when it comes to same-sex marriages and those kind of things, and you're forcing down my child's throat that he should be a bit more feminine than he is because he might be gay, in those kind of terms, it's not appearance. It's not an accident. It's not those kind of things. And I understand they do say that. I'm just jumping off that.
Definitely.
I understand where you're going with this, but your examples are based on maybe appearance or based on an accident or something that you didn't ask for, because that's why it stands out. And yes, they are
can't be
trying to bring
equated.
diversity. But when you come to a same-sex marriage, it's you as a person and your beliefs. It's you and yourself as who do I love. It's you, and I understand they're trying to make it let's accept everybody. But I'm saying, if we're going to do that, can we not put it in every single thing that is on TV at
But
the
it's who
moment?
you identify as.
But can I jump
Yeah.
in there? And this
Yeah.
is my problem.
Yeah.
That I don't have a problem with someone else's worldview where they feel accepting of the later community or they must expose their kids or whatever. But we grew up with a different moral system, or I grew up with a different moral system where it was taught what is wrong, what is right, what is perceived as being good. That is part of our belief system, my core belief system. And that is my worldview. So when I raise up my kids, there's a certain sense of morals that I instill in my kids and that I expect my kids to grow on. When they are adults, they make their decisions themselves, but I need to
That's
instill
what I'm
them.
asking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to instill it. So I don't have a problem with other people's worldview, but don't force that worldview on my kids, because they my kids, and I want them to see what we perceive as wrong, because we raise them in a certain way. When they're adults, I need to trust or whatever that the decisions that they make will be good. But it's my personal responsibility as a parent to create, when your child is small, you tell them stealing is wrong.
Yeah.
You tell them taking someone else's stuff or damaging someone else's, whatever. You create a moral box for them so that when they go out into the world, they know that they go to the warehouse and that in certain moral boxes, they go pick something to know that, okay, this is right and this is wrong. And I feel that that is the exact same thing we have to do when it comes to that. Other people think it's okay, and that's okay for them. But not for us or not for my kids.
And that's why life is, everything in life is a choice, right? Going and watching the movie or allowing your daughter to watch it or not is a choice, right? And they're putting it out there. I think we really need to get to a point where we realize that we might not agree with something, but it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it immoral or and it's okay, again, to have your views and to look at it like that. For me, and I really hear where you ladies are coming from. What I really just want to put out there and just say is that And I teach my children this all the time. My in-laws are Christian. My sister-in-law a week ago asked if we want to come through for Christmas. They're going to put up the Christmas tree. We Muslim. And I said to her, that no, we're not going to. And I felt the need to explain why, even though now looking back at it, I feel like I shouldn't have, because it doesn't matter. It should have been, it should be common sense that we are Muslim. We're not going to come and decorate your tree. And I said to her, it's because I don't want to confuse my kids. We are Muslim. Why are we decorating a Christmas tree? We don't believe in Christmas. We celebrate because we like food, and because 90% of my family is Christian, so I go and I eat their food. But we don't celebrate the day. My mom-in-law and my sister-in-law buy my kids gifts. At the beginning, when my kids were really small, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't happy about it, because I said, you're confusing my children. You don't buy them gifts for Eid, but you're buying them gifts for Christmas. It's confusing my kids. But now that we're older, I'm realizing that my children also need to be exposed to this worldview, and they need to understand that there's different people from different races and different, we all look different, we all sound different, we all believe in different things. So for me, I just want to say that even if your child happened to watch the movie, because guys, sometimes our kids come and tell us things and we're surprised, like, where did you watch that? Where did you see that? Yeah. It could be playing on somebody's TV and they walk in, like you said, with the Kardashians. But the fact of the matter is, just because we might not believe something to be true does not mean that it's wrong. Yeah. And I believe wholeheartedly we need to expose our children. Yes, we might have not been grown up that way, where two dads are okay, but in 2021, let's be realistic, it is very normal and it's very okay, and there's a lot of loving families where there are two fathers or two mothers or whatever it be. But one thing that we really need to realize is that our kids are a lot wiser, and I'm saying it for what it's worth. Our kids are a lot wiser than we were, because they are more exposed than we were. Our kids are seeing things that we never ever saw when we were younger, or our parents saw when they were younger. Our kids are going out there. My child is in Kuro. Kuro has they call it a Christian ethos. But we're Muslim, So my child comes home praying all the time, and every time we eat, she says the Our Father. I know the Our Father. It's not a bad thing. It's not a problem, because I am raising a child that is going to be ready for the world. I am raising a child that is going to be able to be confident and not be ignorant and be able to understand other things, Yeah. But with that said, I really do respect your views. My view is a little different. That my children, I want them to understand.
Yeah. Can I just jump in there real quick? And I just jump in there real quick. I do agree that our kids are more exposed, but I don't agree that our kids are wiser. Yeah. Okay. We are the in-between generation. We were like the old school and then the new like we're the only generation that's like really in between there. And what I find is that the younger generation coming from Gen Z, who hasn't gone through what we've also been exposed to with our parents, and the no cell phone phase and all of that, is that they're more confused. There's so much options now to choose from. They don't know what to choose, and they're being told that go find yourself, go be yourself. Mm-hmm. But there's just
if you are a certain way that doesn't go with the narrative, you're wrong.
Absolutely,
yeah. You're wrong, because so this is my on that, right? We mustn't confuse wokeness for wiseness. Yes. Yes. There's a very big difference. Yes. This generation, this new generation, our kids, right, are woke. Yeah. And it's exposure. Yeah. And if we translate that to our kids, that, wow, my kid, you're so wise, you run the risk of sitting with a confused child. Absolutely. Because what's going to happen is, you see, the thing is with race, what are you confused about? If you don't understand your heritage, I can explain it to you, right? So if you make the example of race, I can explain race to you. I can explain your heritage to you. So if you come with me and you say that you've got this sexual desire, right? Explain it to me. Explain what is the sexual desire. Where are we sitting with now, with sexuality? I can't pinpoint necessarily, because the minute I want to if I pinpoint a confused sexuality, then they're going to cancel me for my opinion about it, because I need to go back and I need to find out, where did you get this exposure from, because it wasn't in my house.
Yeah.
Right?
But
So,
I just want to say quickly, I had this conversation with a friend a few years
Yeah.
ago, because I'm not sure if I said it on the last show, but we went to go and visit a friend, a cousin's house, and she's got a little boy, and the little boy used the P word. And going home, my child used the word and asked me what it means, and I was obviously, guys, you can imagine, I was dying. I was out of my mind. And I phoned my friend and I said, you know what, I don't want my child visiting my cousin's house anymore, because my child is picking up P words and funny words. And she said to me, you know what, she read a book, and the book said, you know, that you need to understand as a parent, you will never be the only influence in your children's lives, but you need to make sure that you are the best influence.
Now that's
Because
the
when your
thing.
children come home,
That's it.
what and I suppose this is where, no matter how different we were in what we were saying a few minutes ago, this is where we are all common in.
So-
This is what we have.
So it goes back to
at home.
It
my
goes back to
children
a
know.
personal preference, like
Yeah.
like Evangelique said. For her, she doesn't want to expose her children
Yes,
to that again.
exactly.
So, but here's the thing, right? And this is why I say we run the risk. Once you open up a door to something, you're going to have to accept everything. Currently now, there's a professor in America, and it's a big thing that's been going on, where they're trying to destigmatize pedophilia, because it's also a sexual preference. So this is what I'm saying. The minute you open a door, you're going to have to keep allowing things. So if you're going to keep exposing your children, Marvel's supposed to be a children's movie, and also I've got my reservations about that, because for me, I feel that there's violence in Marvel
Which
as well.
already is not
So it's
good.
another thing
Yeah.
that you need to consider,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's my reservations on that.
Yeah.
But now if we're speaking about sexuality, they want to call it's no longer pedophilia, it's minor attracted persons. You're making it okay.
Yeah.
What tells me that in 10 years' time,
Yeah.
that thing is not going to become part of our culture?
Because the first
Yeah.
time I made you listen to that interview where they speak about it's a preference,
Yes.
he's not. It's just him liking younger people.
He's not doing
He's
anything
not doing
about
anything.
it.
He likes it. And look where we are now, where they're actually legalizing it.
Now
those
it's part
kind
of,
things.
now it's a sexuality, it's a sexual preference. That's my thing. Now, this is the reason why I don't have a problem with your lifestyle and
Yeah.
what you do. But the minute you influence
Yes,
innocent people,
yes.
Yeah.
that's when I have a problem.
that's what I'm
And
trying
that's
to bring
my
across.
specific problem with this community. I don't have a problem with your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, if this is your preference and this is what you...
Yeah.
And a lot
To
of the
each their
times
own.
they say, it doesn't harm anybody
Yeah.
else. But now...
It is
Now
harming
the
Yeah.
it's unraveling,
But that's
and
why
we're
our
beginning
kids,
to
when our
see.
kids come home, they need to know what we stand for
exactly.
at home. You can be exposed to anything because we can't control
We
it.
can't.
Right?
But
We can't.
this
but
is what
it's
I
at
was
home.
saying also with
Yeah.
the movies. If you go back to it, every single movie now, I tried watching, looking for a Christmas movie, and now the Christmas movies are also like that kind of a thing. And like you were saying, also religion. You didn't go to a Christmas tree thing because it's not your religion kind of a thing. If Christmas is based on religion, why are we putting same-sex marriage in a Christmas movie kind of a thing? So we go to those we can fight both ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is why I say, I understand we all have our own personal views like Lee said,
Yeah.
but when you're going to put that exposure in every single thing, like cartoons even, because if you watch Cartoon Network now, it is
Dodgy.
disturbing
Yeah.
to see. I don't let my kids watch Cartoon Network, they don't watch Boomerang, and neither do they watch Disney Channel, because these are the things they're opening up to our kids. So I'm just saying that I hear everybody's points and everything, but like the same way we say don't force religion.
Yeah.
Like I always like to use the example because I'm I like pageants. You're not allowed to speak about your religion in pageants because we're supposed to represent everybody. You can't speak who you support in politics because you're supposed to represent everybody. See, those are personal views. If my religion is personal, I mustn't throw it down everybody's throat.
Yes.
If my politics, whether I'm PA or ANC or Action SA, it's my personal opinion. I'm not supposed to throw it down everybody's throat. Why with something like this is it okay?
Yeah.
Because that is still personal choice.
Agenda's driven. It's driven, and it's been placed in the minds of little children.
Yes.
You know, and therefore, this is a thing that is man-made. God never created man and man to live together. That's the basics. And let me say it straight and plain. We are born on this earth as male and female. And that is what it is. And that is what I stand for. Just on my way here, I was listening to someone who also was busy driving this thing. And I said to myself, Lord, now you must listen on a platform, you know, a public platform. You must listen to all this. I have the remote in my hands. How I want to raise my children and what they want to believe and what they don't want to believe. I am given the responsibility as a parent to what my child must look at and what not. I have the responsibility to tell them A, B, and C is wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that is my thing in today's society. That's why I'm so grateful that I'm not you. Guys, you're still raising children, because there's so many things that the children are exposed to in today's society. Therefore, I'm saying it is of vital importance to raise your child in the ways of the Lord. That's it. It's important, irrespective of what your belief system is. Raise that child in a moral society, guys, because there's a lot of immorality going on in this world today. Everything is man-made, and they want the people who's driving these agendas have something, you know. They want people to believe what they believe, and they want to make it look right. Well, to me, it's not right. It's not right. I'm sticking to my views, what my beliefs are, and nobody is gonna mess with my mind because that's my belief. And therefore, you also have your own opinion, and you also have your beliefs. So stick to your beliefs, but don't push your beliefs down on me and make me want to believe what you say is right. Hey, we are different people, different cultures, different religions, and therefore, what I believe is what I believe. What you believe is what you believe. So take your things and live with that. But me and my house, Iania, ons is male and female. Baie dankie.
And
It's not wrong, it's different. Though. Right, we can agree that because it's happening in that house,
It's
it
just
doesn't mean that
everybody's
it's
different
wrong,
opinions.
It's just different.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Definitely.
just always say there's so many things that we still need to break, and the amount of energy that this is getting compared to other things that matter,
It's
like you say,
unreal.
Yeah.
your child coming home with a half arm. Why are we not bringing more to the table of people that
Disabilities.
have disabilities, kind of a
Different.
thing, that didn't ask for the disability? But that's just my whole thing. There are issues that actually matter so much more that we did not ask for, and nobody thinks anything of it. But here is another issue that, yes, you might be struggling with that thing, but why must it be 1,000% of my life in every single thing I do, wherever I go, wherever, all those kind? Because, I mean, it's even in school now. It's one of the subjects. How is this okay? They take religion out of school,
And they bring
and
this
they
in.
replace it with this. So now you can't teach my child the Our Father at school, but you can teach my child what it is to have feelings for the same sex. So that's just my narrative on the whole thing. I was so excited. I have a deaf child. She was finally going to see someone like her portrayed as a superhero.
And we need that. We need that.
And they took that away from me. That is my side I'm coming from.
Yeah, Department of Education even now have something that they changing the signage on the toilets. Where a male child, it's so sickening. It's so sickening.
And
You open
yeah,
up a
there's
door to too
not only
many
that.
things
Yeah.
because you can't paint everybody with the same brush, and I'm a big advocate for that because there are there genuinely people who live this way, and this is who they are, and they mean it with all respect to another person, right? You can't paint everybody with one brush. I'm a big advocate for that because there's certain gay couples or LGBTQ people who are genuinely good people.
Yes,
And who grow up in a moral
But
way.
being that
But
doesn't
the
take
thing
away
is-
your personality.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. But my problem is like when we start implementing these things, like for instance, the same-sex bathroom, there's too many factors that are dangerous and that
Ooh,
play
it's very
against
dangerous.
it.
Because
that
now,
play
now you
against
have
it.
a minor
Because you
love,
get
a
sick
minor
people, man.
interested person. What
You
do they
get
call the
sick
pedophiles
people.
now? That
Minor
go-
attracted
minor
persons.
attracted persons that go into
You
that
don't even
bathroom.
have to go there. Just go to school because that's what they're doing at school now.
Yeah.
How many?
There's many
ghost
cases.
stats?
There's
What is
many
the cases
cases.
of rape at school?
Yay.
Many cases.
Now,
And
if you're
it's
making me
gonna
go to the
escalate.
same bathroom,
It is.
Whether you
You're
like it or
opening
not.
up the door
And
to
you know
so
when
many
you
things.
implement policies like this, and this is my problem with policy makers, when they implement policies like this, they do it in the name of equality, but they don't think of the consequences that it will have. They don't have legal legislation to avoid instances of. Because it's a small percentage of people that are malicious. You can't, like again, I'm gonna say you cannot paint everybody with the
Everybody,
same brush.
yeah.
But there's a small group of people that are malicious that are going to use this as an opportunity for harm. And there's not legislation. I mean, you can't even legislate what it is. Yeah, we've got the situation, and we spoke about it on yesterday's show with Jub and Amanda DePont, and I said that the problem with South Africans is that we can't even define what rape is because people say, how was she raped if she was in a relationship with him for 2 years? Because we don't even have a definition of rape anymore. And that's the risk that we run. We're not even dealing with the issue, the scourge, the pandemic of rape in our country, but we're hopping onto a bandwagon of making same-sex toilets. But you can't even deal with one main issue. Careful.
You're breaking the house down, huh? This topic is heated. But can I just say though that for me, there's never been a time where, like right now, it is so difficult to make rules. Can you imagine being the president? When you do something, you're in trouble. When you don't do it, you're in trouble. You know? So I suppose
it's a
this
tough
is why
job, though.
It is. It's very
That's
tough.
why I'm saying
Definitely.
anybody in any type of authoritative role, whether you're a parent, whether you are a president, whether you are whoever,
It's true.
even a
Very
religious, a
tough.
pastor or somebody, it is so difficult to
Yes.
remain relevant and to make the
Absolutely.
rules in this 2021,
That's so
2021,
true.
right?
It's so
We
true.
all do the best that we can. And again, thank you to GAB Fest.
And
because,
even we are
could
learning.
have the
Yeah.
Even
conversation.
we are still learning.
Absolutely.
The
every
kids
day.
might be learning, but even we are learning because we are
Every day.
living in it's a new era.
No, absolutely. We
Yeah.
can agree on that.
So with me, just in closing, I'm saying, if we allow certain aspects, allow me to also have my say against it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
don't jump down me, like even with the show. You can't jump on me now
Yeah.
because of my beliefs.
Never.
Because there is 90% more that is for you than what is against you. And
Yes.
let this 10% that is still looking for that morality for our kids in the way that we grew up. And like you said, you don't take everything that your parents did, but there's some things I do take from my parents because I believe that it worked,
And it sits
and I
well with
want
you.
it to go
Yeah.
on to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. And that is for me to decide. So the same way we can accept others, accept this kind of talk as well. And that's all I'm trying to say, that it was the point
Absolutely.
of the GAB Fest. We had our different opinions and thank you so much for joining. It is the end, but before we go, I would really just like to thank you guys for everything. Jay, the pink ones is for Ma, Lee and Nazli. Just to say thank you so much for
awesome.
the GAB Fest. Thank you, Ma, for giving us the opportunity to have the show, and Lee and Nazli for standing
Thank
in
you,
whenever
ma'am.
needed. And then
Thank you so much. This is so beautiful.
the pot plant and the cup is for Anka and
Really?
Jess. Just
you're
to
so
say
sweet,
thank
man.
you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Not a talk show if you don't have a coffee mug. So there we go.
So every time you drink
Thank
your
you.
coffee, think about me and the GAB Fest and how much I appreciate you guys. And yeah, you know, I'm not really
you
one
so
for flowers.
much.
I'm one for plants. So please look after your plant. I left the name of the plant so you can Google how to look after it. And thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you whenever it is our turn to be out on. But from next year, when are they coming back, Lee?
The 10th will be back.
From the 10th, Insights will be back, and you will have your beautiful talk with Joan, ready to cry. That days you can't wear makeup. Those days you can't wear makeup.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you on the 10th. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
There's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams.